Alright, we need to talk about Blade in Marvel Rivals. It's been almost 2 weeks since he first dropped, and to me, I thought he was going to be a monster, a real game changer. I mean, the hype was real. He's a vampire hunter, he's got a flashy melee, lifesteal, anti-heal, a shotgun, a dash. Everything about him screamed that he should be one of the most fun and impactful duelists in the game. But after experiencing the misfortune of playing him against AI and seeing other people play him, the truth is pretty simple. Blade is a flop. You rarely see him. He feels weak to use, and honestly, to me, there's absolutely zero incentive to pick him over another duelist. And today in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why. But before I begin, if you enjoy videos like this where I rant and talk about Marvel Rivals, make sure you subscribe. Also, I go live on Twitch every single Friday, so catch me live there. So Blade has a few issues. One of the biggest ones for me is his inconsistent damage. He's supposed to be a duelist, but his sword doesn't actually hit that hard. You're kind of expecting a melee character to pack a punch, but instead you find yourself relying on a shotgun more than anything else. And the shotgun itself is weird. It's most effective at medium range and not point blank. So it kind of contradicts the style of melee, because if you do more damage on medium range, why would you go in for closer? So you end up just botting and just shooting with the shotgun over and over and over again. So yeah, his kit just doesn't line up. And because of that, his damage ends up feeling really inconsistent. Next up is his lifesteal. And let's be real, it's absolutely terrible. Some people have came out on TikTok and said that it was bugged, and then Marvel Rivals themselves came out and said, actually, no, it's been working exactly how it's intended to use. This was supposed to be one of the core things that made him unique. Blade's whole identity is built around him draining enemies and sustaining himself in fights. But in Marvel Rivals, his lifesteal barely does anything. His lifesteal is so undertuned that it's almost irrelevant. I find myself, when I play Blade, using the lifesteal ability to run faster out of spawn more than in actual fights because it's not reliable. So when that's happening, that makes his melee even less worth using. So instead of lifesteal being a strength, it ends up being one of the weakest abilities in the entire game. And it honestly feels like it's useless sometimes. By the way, I shouldn't have to, but I'm going to preface that this doesn't apply to the 1% Blade players or the 0.01% Blade players. I get it. Some people are just cracked out different. They can use the character and climb with it. I get that. But this is just for a regular player like me or you that has a job that comes home and plays in Grandmaster, okay? My next biggest problem is his mobility. On paper, double dash sounds great. You can engage and disengage, weave around the fight, but in practice, it feels awkward as hell. His dashes don't give him great spacing for melee, and they don't close the gap the way you need them to. If you use them aggressively, you're stuck in that weird mid-range zone where your shotgun is at its worst, and if you use them defensively, you're burning your only real survivability tool just to run away. So overall, his mobility is kind of mid. Like, he moves fast, but not fast enough. And the pinnacle of my problem with Blade is there's no upside to picking him. Why even play Blade? What's the upside? If you want to be a consistent melee damage, why not just play Magic? She does everything Blade does plus more. If you want a shotgun burst damage type of thing, why not just play Punisher or Bucky? If you want mobility, then, you know, Black Panther, if he's not banned, or one of those dive characters that are like, you know, Psylocke or something like that. Why would you play him? Because right now, Blade sits in such an awkward middle ground where he does a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not well enough to do anything else that's substantial. His anti-heal sounds good on paper, but it's so subtle that you barely even notice it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and advocate for anti-heal as a tank player because I feel like that's just opening up the Overwatch can of worms with Ana, where you're just playing Counterwatch at that point and you're becoming useless. But his anti-heal could be better, you know? I will give this, though. His ultimate is pretty good. It's great when you combo it up with a Groot. However, it is kind of like, you know, pretty easy to dodge, but that's most ults in this game if you're good enough. And I also feel like his ult is more tailored to the higher skill tier characters because it does like tick damage kind of, and you kind of have to be communicative of who's in the ult for your team to really focus them and get them out quicker. But yeah, his ult's fine. I don't think his ult is an issue. Right now, Blade feels like a worse version of multiple heroes. So when you put it all together, inconsistent damage, weak lifesteal, chunky mobility, no real niche, it's no wonder why Blade feels like a flop. He doesn't deliver on the fantasy of being a hybrid melee range duelist because he doesn't bring enough raw numbers or utility to justify picking him. That's why you don't see him in your games. People tried him, realized he wasn't worth locking, and move to better options. So my question to you guys is, because usually I'm answering the questions, but my question to you guys is, what can they do? Because we're in a dilemma. I feel like Blade is in the same spot that Wolverine is. He's either going to be too underwhelming or too overpowered. It's just plain and simple. That's what the reality of the situation is, in my opinion. There is some kind of report going out right now that he's getting buffed soon. So when that comes out, I could definitely go over on stream and you could follow up on there. But yeah, you guys let me know. What do you guys think should be changed in Blade's kit? My opinion, make his initial damage with the sword more, make me want to use the sword, and fix the goddamn lifesteal. I feel like he should be a tank, like he should be hard to kill. We'll see what they do when they buff him. So yeah, in season 3.5, Blade has been one of the most disappointing characters in Marvel Rivals so far. Cool design, hype factor was through the roof, but his actual gameplay is just not there. If the devs want him to succeed, they need to buff his lifesteal, tighten up the synergy between his shotgun and melee, and give him some real incentive to dive in and play aggressive. Until then, Blade is going to keep collecting dust on the character select screen. So yeah, like I said before, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree he's a flop or not? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Marvel Rival content, and follow the Twitch. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.